So we're going to talk to the woman that people have been calling El Paso Karen, but she wants us to know that her name is not Karen. Hi, what is your name?
My name's Christy.
Hi, Christy. Can I just set up? So they posted this on FitFam. There's some kind of disagreement about tailgating or not moving fast enough, and this is what went down in West El Paso. Okay, Christy, what's going on here? People have been calling you El Paso Karen. You don't agree with that characterization. What's your side of what's happening here?
Well, I wasn't aware of the story that you had written and put on the website until yesterday, and I didn't have time to talk on the phone yesterday. I was trying to get out the door to go to work. I didn't like the incorrect information in the story. For one thing, it says there's a second video of me celebrating my fame, which is absolutely not true, because the video of me with a mask on in Walmart flipping somebody off is actually back in March, the end of March, beginning of April, when we were first recommended to wear a mask. I had a mask on in Walmart. A lot of people didn't. Somebody passed by me, a young gal, and she rolled her eyes at me, and I rolled my eyes back at her. And then she proceeded to say, "What's your problem?" And she went on to say, "I hope you get COVID, you ugly bitch." And that's when I flipped her off.
Okay, so let me talk about this video for a second. And I was wondering, well, wait a minute. Usually when you've got what they call a Karen story, this is Christy, not Karen. It's usually somebody who's against masks. It looks like you're wearing a mask. You're not only wearing a mask, you're wearing rubber gloves.
Yeah, that was late March, early April when they first recommended wearing a mask. Yeah, I have a science degree. I believe in science. So I've always taken the pandemic seriously. But anyway, that video was not me celebrating anything. That was me reacting to someone telling me, "I hope you get COVID, you ugly bitch."
Okay, all right. So you're flipping them off and dancing, and there's kind of like a little like a hoochie coochie move in there. But this was way before the video where you say a lady was tailgating you, and that's what led to this disagreement in the other video.
Right. And then I saw in the story where she says that, well, whoever wrote the story, and I guess they were taking it from what the lady said. I'm not sure. But
let me shed some light on it, Christy. It wasn't written by anybody on our show, but it was mostly based on the Instagram FitFam and what it said on their article. So, yeah, it's on our website. None of us wrote it, so.
Okay, well, I wasn't trying to. Okay, that's fine. But whoever wrote it, I was at no time on my phone. I was actually looking for a business that I had only been to once before, so I was paying very close attention to where I was going so I didn't miss the business that I was looking for. And there was a gal that was tailgating me the whole time down Rimcon, but I was driving at an appropriate speed. And I was not only paying attention to my location that I was trying to get to, but I was also paying attention to her being very close on my bumper. I put my blinker on to turn into the parking lot where I was going, and I was hoping that she would just pass by me. But she didn't, so I told her, back off. And when I told her to back off, I then proceeded to turn into where I was going and park. Now, I thought she was in a hurry because she was tailgating me all the way down Rimcon.
Right.
But then she decided to pull in the parking lot behind me and started taking pictures of my car, including my license plate, because I told her to back off, I guess. And
let me read. Here's what the story that appeared on our website said. And we've already established you don't appreciate the Karen moniker, but that's what they use. Apparently, El Paso Karen felt like she shouldn't have been honked at by the person who was filming, even though she was texting, allegedly, and driving, which caused traffic to back up behind her. So were you on your phone?
Not at all. I said I was looking for a location I had only been to once before, so I was paying very close attention to not miss the business I was going into.
Okay.
And I was also very aware of her being behind me all the way down Rimcon, very close on my bumper. And she didn't honk at me. She was just tailgating me the whole time. I told her to back off.
Nobody honked at you.
No, and there was no other cars behind it.
Christy, let's assume for a second that you were totally in the right and she was totally in the wrong. We'd have to assume that because there's no video of what led up to this, right? But I think it's the body shaming. I guess this was a large woman, and you decided to make fun of her for being overweight. Christy, you have, it's obviously you take pretty good care of yourself. You look nice. You look fit and trim. Why did you have to go after this woman for her appearance?
I guess I went after her because she started taking pictures of my license plate and parked across the street. And I was sitting in my car waiting to go into the business, and it was almost 5 o'clock. It was getting close for them to close. She parked across the street and sat there watching me and started taking pictures and filming me from across the street. I sat in my car for several minutes, and then I decided I need to go in to do what I need to do, and that's when I approached her because she had started taking... You can hear me saying, why are you filming me, or why are you taking pictures? What are you going to do, call the police and tell them that I told you to back off?
But couldn't you have just shut it down by going on in the business? She probably wouldn't have followed you in there, right?
I don't know, because she was parked across the street from my car. So I didn't really know what her intentions were, but I thought it was inappropriate for her to be taking pictures of my license plate. As far as body shaming, I don't think that you should attack people on things that they have no control over. Like, I don't attack people because of their race or anything like that.
But like somebody's body, somebody's fitness level is something they can control.
Well, the only reason that I weigh 103 pounds is because I've worked at it my whole life. So, I attacked her on something that she has control over.
But you don't necessarily know that. What if she had a thyroid condition, or what if she has some sort of medical thing that can have that?
Yeah, I don't think that a bunch of heavyset people out there are heavyset because they all have thyroid conditions. And besides...
But we're talking about this one person in particular that you attacked over her body, but you're saying that that's something she can control. You don't necessarily know if that is something she can control. Well, so you don't think that's shaming?
I know that she didn't need to be taking pictures of my license plate and park across the street.
But that has nothing to do with her weight.
We're asking you about your behavior. We're not saying that what they did was right, but we're asking you about your behavior.
It might be extreme, but I didn't attack her on anything she couldn't control.
But we're saying that you don't know if that's not something she can control.
Oh, okay. Maybe she couldn't control herself from taking pictures of my license plate.
But see, you keep ducking it here. Like, that's...
Well, maybe
you keep passing blame for your actions.
Couldn't somebody...
And it's always like, well, they shouldn't have done this.
Chrissy,
like, maybe they shouldn't have, but you could still own up, be like, okay, I should not have done that.
I understand. And I'm also attacking the fact that someone said I was texting on my phone and they honked at me and I was backing up traffic, which is not true.
Yeah, but that doesn't, like...
Oh, I see. Okay.
But what we're saying is that how does that behavior justify you calling this person fat for no reason? Like, why did you think, first of all, that you're saying that that's something she could control, but you don't know if that's something she can control?
Had she called you names?
I'm saying what I originally said when I made this call.
Yeah.
That I didn't like the incorrect facts. I wasn't celebrating later on, like it says. That video was taken several months ago.
Okay, but this was all after the fact. This was after the interaction with this lady. I mean, you didn't know that this was going to go viral or that you were going to be on the internet or talking to us. I mean, you said all this stuff to her without any of that foreknowledge. No. I mean, you're trying to say you were getting back at her for what was posted online, but nothing had been posted online at that point.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying that I called to say that at no time was I texting and on my phone holding up traffic.
Okay, and I'm saying let's assume that you're right about that. I'm just saying explain the body shaming part of it.
She pulled over she pulled into the parking lot behind me and started taking pictures. And then she parked across the street for several minutes while I was in my car.
Okay, Christy, let me put it this way. There might be some people who are hearing this and seeing what's going on, and like you say, that this woman could control her weight if she wanted to. Some people would say, well, you could control your behavior in public if you wanted to, and for that reason, I'm not...
She could control lying that I was on my phone and that she was honking at me and that I was backing up traffic. So she does...
Do you not get along with a lot of people? Do you find that you rub up against people and get in confrontations frequently?
No, I try not to have confrontations with people. I usually let many things go.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure, but you want to clarify that you were not texting on your phone, or you weren't holding up traffic. You were driving slow.
She didn't. No, I wasn't even going that slow. It's Rimcon. I was probably going 30 miles an hour. It's not a busy street where you should be going very fast.
I guess I'm still stuck, Christy, on some of the things you're saying. I mean, I understand you and this woman had some kind of disagreement going on, but, going after her double chin and all this stuff and dancing in the street, I mean, that's a little overboard.
Okay. Well, I thought she was going overboard, and I think the story with incorrect facts was why I called.
Okay. All right. Well, but you don't want to come back and say, well, maybe I shouldn't, target people for their appearance. Maybe that's just not a nice thing to do. I mean, because this would be the opportunity if you wanted to say that.
I guess I would say that, no, I don't go out and target people for their appearance. I was responding to her inappropriate behavior.
Like, you wouldn't just go up to an overweight person and start giving them...
No.
You would think it, but you wouldn't say it out loud.
No.
You wouldn't think it?
I wouldn't even be... It wouldn't be my concern.
Okay, so you weren't upset at this woman because of her weight or her appearance.
No.
You were upset that she was filming you. Why didn't you go out? Why didn't you leave it with that? Why did you have to bring in, whatever you thought she looked like?
Why did she have to say that I was holding up traffic and she was honking and that I was texting when I wasn't?
Hold on. So your behavior is validated because of what somebody else did?
No, I think I'll go back to saying the reason I called was to say that there was incorrect facts in the story and I didn't like it.
Do you think there's any chance we're going to see another video of you in public going off on somebody like this?
No, because it causes too much turmoil and there's misinformation. The story is not even correct.
Well, I'm looking at some of the comments. Apparently, a lot of people want to know, is there a Mr. Karen, is what a lot of people are asking.
Absolutely not.
There's not a Mr. Karen. You're just on your own. All right. But you don't appreciate being, like, when you hear somebody say...
Class.
What's that?
I said I'm not even middle class.
All right. Like, when you hear somebody call somebody a Karen, what does that imply to you?
Well, I can't be real specific. It wasn't so much that you called me a Karen. It was the incorrect facts.
Oh, okay.
And saying I was celebrating later when actually that was in response to something someone said about, I hope you get COVID.
All right, so the dancing and flipping off in Walmart was months before the body shaming on Rimcon.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right, I think I understand.
Somebody said, I hope you get COVID.
Right.
Yes.
All right, well, in that first video, I guess you could have been an example for everybody because you were wearing a mask and wearing rubber gloves. So in that way, you should be congratulated on that.
No, I don't need to be congratulated, but I was clarifying that the sequence of events were such that I wasn't doing the celebration later on. No, that wasn't. I'm not happy to be famous and celebrate. That happened months ago, and it was in response to someone saying, "I hope you get COVID."
When did this thing with the fat lady tailgating? When did that happen?
A week ago.
Okay, so it was a week ago. All right, you haven't heard back from the lady, or from just all this stuff going viral on the internet, huh?
Well, I think that's plenty. I don't know her.
What would you like to have done? Like, what in a perfect world for Christy, what would you like the resolution of this to be?
Just what I said. The sequence of events in the story are not right. I wasn't celebrating, and I wasn't texting and driving, and I wasn't randomly attacking somebody. I was responding to somebody stalking me at that point.
All right, let me see then if I can get somebody in touch with whoever the author of that article was. Maybe they'll go back and make some corrections. Would that be agreeable to you?
No, I think talking about it on the air is sufficient.
All right, so you feel like
I don't want to.
You feel like you've made your point? Do you feel like this has been fair?
No, I don't think anything's fair. I just think that I wanted to clarify the misinformation.
Do you feel like you've accomplished that?
Somewhat, I guess. Yeah, because the sequence of events and what was really happening, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Christy, not Karen, guys. Christy, but thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
She just doesn't get it.